Nowitzki, he'll go for the three and hit.
And Popovich just grabbed his head as if to say to Hill, what are you thinking about? Don't hesitate on the rotation. You go to Nowitzki on that full rotation. Make him a passer, not a shooter. Don't let him get going.
10-point game again. 2.5 gone by in the fourth. Parker couldn't get a shot off against the double team. 4 on the shot clock. And here's Tony Parker missing outside. And Nowitzki getting a rebound. Dirk Nowitzki sparking this Dallas team. Can they make it all the way back? Caron Butler with a reverse lay-in, and it's down to 8. As the Mavs get it to single digits after falling behind by 20. Timeout.
See, Dirk Nowitzki, when you leave him alone, he is going to make that shot. Hill starts to come, stops, goes back, and goes, uh-oh, that was a mistake. It sure was. Then you see Butler on the reverse from the other side. Popovich, what are we thinking about? I've got a headache.
The Mavericks and their crowd back in the game. First time it's been single digits since 5 minutes left in the second, and it's really stunning, Mike, how rapidly this game has changed direction.
It was 10, then all of a sudden San Antonio comes out and they open it back up again. You say, well, here they are pulling away, but then just as quickly Dallas cuts it back to single digits.
Here's Hill, and the rebound, Haywood. Here is Butler against Ginobili, posting up. And the foul on Duncan. And Duncan over there to make sure that Butler is all right, helps him up on that hard foul. And that'll be 4 against Tim Duncan.
And on the spin to the baseline side, a little fake right there, gets Duncan up in the air. Then when he comes down, he's just not going to give up the layup. Manu goes for the steal, turns him into Tim. Tim coming across, gets a lot of arm.
Butler with 15 points, 2 for 2 from the line. Hits the first. TBS in June from executive producer Ice Cube comes a brand new sitcom about one family's journey to get there. Are we there yet? A brand new series. Premieres June the 2nd at 9, 8 Central, only on TBS.
Here's what's taking place. San Antonio has not gotten back to the foul line that they did in the first half. Jefferson now, after having a great first half for them, has not been very productive here in the last 8 to 10 minutes. They need to get him back involved again, and Tim Duncan the basketball a little bit more.
Meanwhile, the Mavericks 19 of 20 from the line tonight. And Nowitzki intercepts that pass into the hands of Kidd. It's a 6-point game, and the Mavericks with a great chance to stage a huge comeback against their bitter rivals. Terry to driving Butler. A little too hard off the glass. And the Spurs come out of the pack. Hill leaves it for Jefferson. It's been a while since he has scored. Get out! On the clock. Jefferson. Can't get the lay-in. Only 2 shots this half taken by Richard Jefferson. And the turnover again. That's 2 turnovers in 2 possessions for the Dallas Mavericks. And trying to tie it up. And it's going to be San Antonio ball as Ginobili alertly got rid of the ball, deflected out of bounds.
Yeah, he almost made one of those costly mistakes where you expose the basketball. Caron Butler got a hand in there, but Manu is not going to give up on it. He knew he would have had to hear about it. Watch, a little bit tricky dribble through the legs. Butler on it. Ginobili gets it back, out fights him for it, and then winds up bouncing it off the Dallas defender.
And Ginobili will go to the bench. He has scored 20 points on 7 of 12 shooting, hitting 3 threes. So Parker is in there now. Against Haywood, here's Duncan. Kidd is double teaming, leaving Hill open for the jumper. And George Hill coming alive here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he shot that one so much differently than his early shots. His early shots, he was hoping it would go in. That one he shot as if he knew he was going to make it.
Terry is open for 3. third of the game from beyond the arc. 27 for Terry, and it's a 5-point lead now.
Dick, San Antonio needs one more person involved in the rotation. If you're going to rotate to Nowitzki to take him out of the shot, then one more guy has to rotate to Terry, because that's the next shooter in the corner.
Duncan double team. And a tough shot. How did he ever get that off?
Stayed with it. The ball fell back in his hands. Remember, it happened early to him when he was trying to pass off to McDyess. It wound up getting knocked back in his hands for a score.
Duncan with 19 and 12. And a 7-point lead for San Antonio. Here is Nowitzki. And Haywood tries to keep it alive, and Jefferson comes down with it with 6 minutes remaining in the fourth. Parker, McDyess, Duncan, Hill, and Richard Jefferson out there for the black-shirted Spurs. Trying to go back to San Antonio and regain home court advantage. Last touch by Caron Butler. So with 1 second on the clock, the Spurs have possession. And a timeout coming right now. 5:42 remaining in the fourth.
Up in the high post area, Jason Kidd looks like he's going to come off. What they really want is to throw the ball back to Dirk Nowitzki. At this point right there, Nowitzki's a three-point shooter, Terry's a three-point shooter. This guy's got to make a decision, rotate up or stay back home. Well, he rotates up. Stop it right there. This is the man that gets caught. McDyess too late rotating back. They confused him on their rotations. Terry left wide open.
Anatomy of a three-point basket that keeps the team in the game. And the question for Dallas was, can they come back? The question now for the Spurs is, can they hang on? And it goes over to Dallas again.
24-second violation right there. The block shot, the clock went off as the ball was heading out of bounds. They got a 24-second violation. McDyess had to shoot the ball. He had no choice.
Let's go back.
Nowitzki has Terry, who's open, and misses the shot. He was open with a good screen there.
A great screen down away from the basketball. The defender tried to go through or on the ball side of the screen that left Terry wide open.
He has 27, Terry, off the bench to lead the Mavs tonight. And there's Haywood defending against Tim Duncan. And Duncan with the soft shot. How many times have we seen that going that way? And it's now 9 points on 21 points, 13 rebounds tonight for Duncan.
You know, in game number one, the two centers for Dallas combined for 15 points, 18 rebounds. But there's a difference between them. Haywood is long, but Dan Pierre is much more physical with Duncan.
Here's Nowitzki, long rebound, tipped by McDyess, and controlled by McDyess. So Parker now. And once again, the Spurs can open up a double-digit lead with a field goal here. And Tony Parker batted out again by McDyess, and Hill comes up with it. And here's Duncan in the low post. They isolate him against Haywood, and Duncan again has made 2 critical inside shots, causing Carlisle to call a timeout with the lead 11.
And it's for exactly the reason that I just mentioned. Haywood longer, jumps higher, but he's not as physical with Duncan, and Duncan knows that. He knows that he can overpower Haywood. He turns into his right shoulder for that easy one that takes the baseline move, basically shoots it right up in his face and converts.
There might be smoke coming out of the top of the head of Mark Cuban with the developments the way they are, as he is deeply involved in the game. Troy Aikman, the great quarterback of the Cowboys, now a box telecaster, checking the box scores, which we have given him. And Marty Snyder got something from the Dallas bench and Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle just told us, guys, we're getting the open shots we want. Those will eventually fall, but we will not win this game if we don't start getting stops on the defensive end. We get the stops, we're still in the game. We don't have a chance.
And that's exactly how they got back in the game, the defensive stops. But it's 95-84, and Kidd brings it up. It was a 5-point deficit for the Mavs.